I never thought I'd hear her voice again, not after what she did. But there it was, crackling through the line like a ghost from a nightmare I thought I'd buried. Piper?
It's me.
I need you. The words hit like a sucker punch. And before I could hang up, she dropped the bomb. They're coming for me. And it's all because of you.
Me?
After 12 years of silence. After she let me rot for her sins. She had the gall to blame me? I gripped the phone so hard the plastic creaked. My heart slamming against my ribs like it wanted out. And in that split second, I knew this wasn't a plea. It was war. The rain hammered the windshield of my beat-up Ford as I barreled down I-90 toward the city. Chicago's lights smearing into golden streaks through the storm. 12 years. That's how long it had been since Mom and Dad loaded me into the back of their SUV like I was toxic waste, driving me out to that godforsaken juvenile detention center in the sticks of Indiana. I was 14, all gangly limbs and braces. The good daughter who never talked back. But that night, everything shattered. My sister, Lila, 18, golden girl, valedictorian-bound, had crashed Dad's Cadillac into a parked cop car after raiding his liquor cabinet. Drunk. High on whatever pills she was popping from Mom's medicine cabinet. She could have killed someone. The breathalyzer would have nailed her ass. Ended her scholarship dreams.
Her whole perfect life.
So they pinned it on me. You were the one out late. Piper, Dad had said, his voice flat as the Midwest prairie. Eyes not meeting mine. Mom sobbed the whole drive, but it was crocodile tears. She'd already lawyered up a plea deal that kept Lila's name out of it. I took the fall, underage drinking, reckless endangerment. A year in lockup followed by 3 on probation. The judge bought the story, because who suspects the quiet kid? Lila visited once. All wide-eyed innocence. Whispering, I'll make it up to you.
Pipes.
Promise. Bullshit. She ghosted after that. Off to Northwestern on that full ride. While I clawed my way through community college night classes, slinging coffee at a Loop diner to pay rent on a shoebox apartment in Pilsen. That call came at 2 a.m. last Tuesday, yanking me from a dream where I was drowning in Lake Michigan, her face bubbling up from the depths. Lila's number. How the hell did she even get it? I'd changed mine 3 times since getting out. Piper. Listen, she'd rushed. Voice husky from too many Marlboros or whatever vice she'd upgraded to. The feds are sniffing around. That old case, it's resurfacing. Someone dug up the logs. The real ones. If they connect it to me. She trailed off. And I could picture her, perched on some high-rise balcony in Streeterville, overlooking the magnificent mile like she owned it. Now she ran a boutique PR firm, schmoozing celebs and politicians. The kind of life that screamed untouchable. Why me? I'd snarled. But she just laughed. That tinkling silver bell laugh that used to make me jealous. Because you're the only one who knows the truth.
Sis.
Meet me at the old spot. Midnight tomorrow. Don't make me beg. The old spot. The derelict pier off Navy Pier where we'd sneak out as kids. Chain-smoking stolen cigs and dreaming of escaping our pressure cooker suburb.
Click.
Line dead. I should have deleted the voicemail. Blocked her forever. But rage has a way of hijacking your brain. Turning no into hell yes. By dawn, I'd called in sick. Packed a go-bag with the .38 my ex had left behind, unregistered, untraceable, and hit the road. The city hadn't changed much. Still the same brutal wind off the lake, whipping trash down Michigan Avenue like confetti from hell. I parked in a no-parking zone near the pier, the engine ticking as it cooled, and stepped out into the downpour. My boots splashed through puddles that reflected the Ferris wheel's garish glow, empty now in the off-season. Lila was there, silhouetted against the black water. Her trench coat belted tight, blonde hair twisted in that effortless chignon she rocked like a crown. She turned as I approached, and for a heartbeat, it was like no time had passed, sisters reunited. Then she smiled, and it curdled. "You look good."
Pipes.
Hardened up. Her eyes flicked over me. The faded Husky's hoodie, the jeans ripped at the knees from too many bar shifts, the tattoo snaking up my forearm, a coiled rattlesnake I'd inked on my 21st, a reminder of her betrayal. Coffee. She held out a thermos, steam curling like smoke signals. "Cut the crap," I said, snatching it anyway because my hands were shaking from the cold. The brew was black as tar, scalding my tongue. "What's this about feds? And why the fuck would they come after you now?" She leaned against a rusted railing, the lake churning below like it wanted to swallow us whole. "Remember that crash? Turns out, Dad's car wasn't just any ride. It was wired GPS, black box, the works. Some hacktivist group just leaked a ton of old police files online. Mine's in there,
Buried.
but if anyone cross-references..." She shrugged, but her eyes were feral, calculating. Lila had always been the chess player. I was the pawn. "And you think I care?" I laughed, bitter as the rain. "You let me go down for it." Probation meant no scholarships for me, no escape from that shithole town. While you waltzed into Ivy League paradise. Her face softened, or faked it. I was scared.
Piper.
Mom and Dad, they said it was the only way. Protect the family. Protect her. More like. Our folks had poured everything into Lila. The tutors, the Ubers to debate club, the emergencies that were just her shopping sprees. I got hand-me-downs and lectures on gratitude. I took a swig, the burn steadying me. "So, what do you want? Me to testify? Lie again?"
No.
She straightened, voice dropping to a whisper. "I need you to disappear it. The evidence. There's a guy, a fixer in Little Village. Ex-cop. Owes me a favor. But he won't touch it without muscle.
You're
Resourceful now. Right?" Her gaze lingered on the bulge under my jacket where the revolver sat heavy. Resourceful. That's code for the gigs I'd picked up after college dropout. Repossessing cars for shady lenders. Tailing cheating spouses for PIs. Nothing pretty, but it paid the bills. "You're asking me to commit a felony."
for you.
Again. She stepped closer, rain beating on her lashes like tears she couldn't fake. "Please."
Pipes.
"If I go down, we all do. Mom's cancer, it's back. Dad's pension's all we've got. This could bury us. Mom's cancer." The word hit like a freight train. I'd known, vaguely, from Facebook glimpses, Lila's curated posts of family brunches. Mom frail in a sun hat. But hearing it twisted the knife. Was this guilt? Or leverage? "Fine," I muttered, hating myself. "Give me the details." She did. The fixer's name. Manny Ruiz. A warehouse off 26th Street. A USB drive with the leaked files. Tomorrow night. And Piper? Thanks. You're still the best sister. I watched her melt into the night, heels clicking on wet concrete. And something snapped inside me. Best sister?
No.
I was the idiot sister, the sacrificial lamb. As the rain soaked through my clothes, I pulled out my phone and texted Manny instead. Not to help her. To end her. The warehouse loomed like a concrete tomb under the sodium glow of Halstead's streetlights. Chain-link fence rattling in the wind like bones. I'd scoped it earlier that day. Parked across the street in a taqueria lot. Nursing a horchata while watching shadows move. Manny Ruiz, mid-50s. Barrel-chested. The kind of guy who'd traded his badge for bribes years ago. His rap sheet was a novel, bribery. Assault. A dismissed racketeering charge that screamed connections. Lila's favor probably involved some politician's indiscretion, the kind that kept her client's skeletons buried. I slipped through a gap in the fence at 11 p.m., the .38 cold against my palm. Suppressor threaded on because this wasn't a movie. No dramatic bangs. Just quiet finality. The air reeked of rust and motor oil. Pallets stacked like forgotten promises. Voices echoed from the far end. Low.
Urgent.
Laced with that South Side drawl. Files are clean, but the sisters got cold feet, Manny was saying. His laugh a gravel rumble. Footsteps, 2 sets. I ducked behind a forklift. Heart jackhammering. Then her voice, Lila. She's coming. Trusts me.
A pause.
Paper rustling. Double the fee if it's gone by dawn. Family.
Al.
Manny snorted. Always the worst clients. I edged closer, peering through slats. There she was, lit by a bare bulb swinging like a noose. Lila, flawless even in this dump, handing over an envelope thick as sin. Manny pocketed it, nodding to a goon-tattooed kid, barely 20, twitchy with youth and bad decisions. My finger hovered on the trigger. One shot. Center mass. And it ends. But as I sighted down the barrel, doubt crept in like fog off the lake. What if she was telling the truth? Mom's cancer, stage 4. If the posts were real.
And Dad.
Broken after the mill closed. Drowning in Bud Light and regret. Killing her wouldn't unwrite the past. It'd just paint me the monster. Instead, I waited. They left separately, Manny first, then Lila, glancing over her shoulder like she sensed eyes on her. I tailed her to a valet lot, where she slid into a sleek Audi, plates screaming money. My Ford coughed to life blocks away, and I followed the taillights north, through the loop's glittering arteries, up to her Gold Coast penthouse. The doorman waved her through. I parked curbside, watching her silhouette in the lobby, all poise and power. By morning, I'd crashed on a bench in Grant Park, waking to pigeons pecking at my boots and a voicemail from an unknown. Ruiz here. Job's on. Midnight. Lila must have passed my number.
Perfect.
I spent the day prepping. Burner phone for Manny. Gloves. A fake ID from my repo days. But revenge isn't a straight shot, it's a maze. And Lila had always been better at maps. At noon, another call, Mom. Her voice, thin as onion skin. Piper? Honey, it's been too long. Lila says you're in town. Come for dinner? Please.
Dinner.
Like we were the Waltons. I almost said no, but the pull was magnetic guilt, curiosity, the black hole of family. Yeah.
Ma.
7. The house in Oak Park hadn't changed. Victorian fixer-upper. Porch swing creaking like accusations. Mom answered the door. Scarf knotted over her bald head. Smile brittle. My girl. Hugs. The scent of lavender and chemo. Dad grunted from a recliner. Fox News blaring about border walls. A beer sweating in his fist. Lila was in the kitchen. Apron over yoga pants. Stirring risotto like Martha Stewart on Xanax. Surprise attack, she chirped, pecking my cheek. Her eyes said, play along. Dinner was a minefield. Small talk about my consulting job repo lies. Her latest client, some tech bro dodging me too. Mom chattered about grandkids that didn't exist. Dad muttered about kids these days. Under the table, Lila's foot nudged mine, conspiratorial.
Sisterly.
I wanted to scream. After, as I helped with dishes, she cornered me. You meet Manny?
Tomato? I lied.
Suds bubbling on my hands. It's handled. Relief washed her face. God. Piper. I owe you. Big time. She dried a plate. Gaze distant. Remember when we were kids? That summer at the lake house. Burying those stupid time capsules? I put in that note. Lila and Piper. Forever. I remembered. The capsules. Trinkets. Secrets. Mine had a locket with her photo. Hers. Who knows? We dug them up years later. Post-crash. But hers was empty.
Yeah.
Forever. She laughed. But it cracked. I fucked it back then. The crash. It wasn't just booze. I was pregnant. Scared shitless. If it had come out, pregnant. The word detonated. 12 years ago. 18 and knocked up. By who? The golden girl. Hiding more than a DUI. Who? I whispered. Doesn't matter. She waved it off. Lost it anyway. In the wreck. Miscarriage. That's why Mom and Dad, they couldn't let it touch me. I was their do-over. Do-over. While I was the disposable draft. Rage boiled fresh. But so did pity, twisted, unwelcome. And now, this cover-up, survival. Her eyes hardened. Same as always. I left with a Tupperware of leftovers. Driving aimless through the suburbs. Streetlights blurring into halos. Pregnant. Miscarriage. Secrets on secrets. By the time I hit the city, resolve had shifted. Not kill her, but break her. Expose the whole rotten core. Midnight found me at the warehouse again. Manny waiting with a laptop and that twitchy kid. Files here, he grunted. Screen glowing with PDFs, police reports. Timestamps proving Lila behind the wheel. Burner or shred? Upload, I said. Voice steady.
Not to leak sites.
But to a contact, a blogger I'd met repossessing his Beamer. The kind who thrived on true crime podcasts. Make it viral. Anonymous source. Manny's brow furrowed. That ain't the deal. I flashed the .38. Casual as a wallet. New deal. The kid squeaked. Manny just nodded. Fingers flying. By 2 a.m., it was done. Files seeded to dark web forums. Watermarked with Lila's old yearbook photo. As I drove away, phone buzzed. Lila. Where are you? Manny's ghosting. Then Mom. Piper? What's happening online? The storm was breaking. The internet doesn't forgive. It devours. By dawn, Lila Lies was trending in Chicago feeds, grainy scans of the crash report, timelines pinning her at the wheel, whispers of cover-ups and family favors. My blogger contact had spun it gold. Suburban royalty's dark secret. Did one sister sacrifice for another? Comments exploded. Screw the rich kids. Wait. The little sis took the fall? Hero or patsy? Polarizing. Just like I'd hoped. No blood. But the blade was surgical, carving her empire to ribbons. I holed up in a no-tell motel off Cicero. Burner flipped, watching the fallout on a cracked laptop. Lila's firm. Client exodus by noon. Emails leaked showing her burying scandals for donors. Her Instagram. Frozen at 50K followers. Now hemorrhaging. A local news van parked outside her building by 3 p.m. Reporter in a trench coat yelling questions at the buzzer. Mom called twice, voicemails cracking with sobs. What did you do? Piper? She's your blood.
Blood.
That's what they always said. Like it excused everything. I paced the threadbare carpet. .38 on the nightstand. The rattlesnake tattoo itching like a warning. This was revenge. Pure and American, petty, public. The kind that plays out in courtrooms and comment sections. But as the hours ticked, doubt gnawed. The twist I'd planted? It wasn't just her exposure. Buried in those files, cross-referenced by some Reddit sleuth, was Dad's signature on a falsified affidavit. And Mom's check to the lawyer, thousands, drained from my college fund they'd forgotten to refund. They'd all known. All played parts. Lila the star.
Me the scapegoat.
Parents the directors. My phone, real one, stupidly left on, lit up. Dad. Get home.
Now.
We talk.
Home.
Oak Park felt like a trap as I pulled up at dusk. Porch light, buzzing like a fly. Dad answered. Face ashen. Flannel shirt untucked over a gut gone soft. Inside. No hug. Just a jerk of the chin. The living room was a war zone. Takeout boxes. Mom curled on the couch in a robe, eyes red-rimmed. Lila paced by the fireplace. Phone glued to her ear, no comment. Assholes. Before hurling it at the wall. It shattered. Screen spiderwebbing. You, she hissed, whirling on me. This was you. I stood in the doorway, rain dripping from my hair, unflinching.
Yeah. Me.
Mom wailed, a sound like a wounded animal. Why?
Piper?
After everything? Everything. I laughed, stepping in, door clicking shut behind me. You mean the year in Jivy? The jobs I couldn't get because of the record? While she, jerk to Lila, partied through college, hid her pregnancy, built her throne on my bones. Dad sank into his chair, rubbing temples. It was a mistake. We protected the family. Protected her. I pulled the .38. Not aiming. Just holding statement. Not threat. Gasps rippled. Lila froze. Color draining. You all decided I was expendable. For what? A do-over daughter? A clean slate. Lila lunged. Not for the gun. But me. Nails raking my arm. Drawing pinpricks of blood. You think you're innocent? You hated me. Always the shadow. Jealous little bitch. I did you a favor. Toughened you up. Favor. The word ignited. We grappled. Tumbling over the coffee table. Lamps crashing. Mom shrieking. Dad bellowed. Enough, but stayed planted. Cowered to the end. Lila's knee drove into my gut. I elbowed her throat, choking off a scream. The gun skittered across the floor, fetching up by the hearth. She scrambled for it. I tackled, pinning her wrists, faces inches apart, breath mingling, rain and rage. It wasn't just the crash, I gasped. The miscarriage, you lied about that too. I dug deeper. The baby's father? Tommy Hale. Your high school sweetheart. The one who OD'd 6 months later. You pushed him to those pills.
Didn't you?
To keep it quiet, her eyes widened. Wild.
Lie?
Or truth. He was weak. I was 18. Scared. Scared. I echoed, tightening my grip. Like I was at 14. Dragged away in the night. Footsteps thundered. Cops? Neighbors?
No.
Just Dad. Hauling me off her. Stop this. We're family. But Lila twisted free, snatching the gun. Time slowed, her standing, trembling, barrel leveled at my chest. You ruined me.
Piper.
Everything.
Click.
Safety off. Mom sobbed. Lila. No. The shot didn't come. Instead, sirens wailed distant. Closing in anonymous tip. My parting gift to 911. Lila's hand shook, tears carving tracks through mascara. Why? Because blood doesn't buy loyalty. I rose slow, hands up. But maybe jail will teach you what lockup taught me. She lowered the gun, collapsing against the wall as blue lights flashed through windows. Cuffs later. Her for the file's fraud tie-ins, me for the weapon. Assault. Mom and Dad? Questioned. Released with warnings. Pillars of the community. After all. In the squad car, rain sheeting the glass, I caught Lila's gaze across the divide. Hate? Regret? Something fractured. Human. The twist hit then. As they read charges. The leaked files? They'd cleared me. Affidavits voided. Record expunged. I walked free by morning. She didn't. But victory tasted like ash. Mom's funeral was 2 months later, cancer one. Fast and merciless. Dad sold the house. Vanished to Florida. Lila? Plea deal. 5 years, white collar. Out in 3 with good behavior. Last I heard, she's writing a memoir, Redemption Road, a sister's betrayal and rebirth.
Me?
Back to Pilsen. The diner. The shadows. The snake tattoo faded, but the coil remains. Was I avenger or villain? Savior or destroyer?
You tell me.
In America, revenge is just another hustle. Win some. Lose your soul.